Morning guys, so new day, new job, another Ikea Pax hack. 2 rooms to do on this one. The room I'm in at the moment is a pretty basic one. It's just wall-to-wall units on a timber frame with the fillers in down the sides and around the top and bottom to create a frame. In the front room we've got a little bit more going on because on this wall we're going to have again a frame all the way across. Going to take that skirting off, it's not fitted yet. We've got wardrobe there, wardrobes there, and then in the middle we've got a drawer unit which we have to make from scratch and a bridging unit which we have to make from scratch. There's no doors on the bridging unit, just push to open drawers. So without further ado, let's get stuck in, get the timber frame built in our back room, and then we're going to go from there. We're on a building site today, so it's going to be an interesting one. I don't think we're going to be here alone, so it could get quite embarrassing filming myself, but we will see. We'll see in a bit. Okay, so first job, obviously we've got to measure the wall, find the centre, which we've done. That's the easy part. And then we're going to measure the doors, and we're going to divide them in half. And then from our centre point of our wall, we're going to measure down half the height of the door, plus 70mm. The 70mm is the basic upstand of your wardrobes and your Ikea Pax, which is this part here. So that's a 70mm upstand. Your doors will come to the bottom of that line, and that's dead space. So we don't want to see that, so we want to make sure that our filler is covering that so that our doors are flush. So centre of wall is the middle mark. Our door height is there, the bottom of our door is there, plus our 70mm. So our timber frame is from the floor to that point. So we've got some 3x2 CLS timber. So the first job we need to do is make our timber frame. That goes across there. We will then level that, fix it to the wall, screw it to the floor, and then that's that ready to go. Then we can start building the wall units, the carcasses, get the carcasses on, joined together, secured to the wall, and then we can start building our infills. Let's get stuck in. Okay, so we've put the level on the wall, and the level over 6 foot runs out by 1 inch. So from the floor it's 6 inches at the highest point, sorry, 1 inch off the wall at the highest point. I'll just show you what I mean. So as you can see, we're tight to the wall and our level is well off. If we bring our level out, we are almost 1 inch, not quite, maybe a little bit less than 1 inch off the wall. So that being said, we'll build our frame in place. We'll put it tight to the wall. I've got to knock a big snot of stuff off the wall there. And then obviously, normally if the wall was the opposite direction, we'd make our frame bigger. Okay, timber frame is now built. What we've got to do now is level it up and allow it to come forward so that it sits level. But obviously in this case, because the wall's bending away from us or leaning away from us, we can put our frame tight to the wall. The carcasses are 580mm wide, so we're going to make our base just under 580, which is more than good enough, just to make it easy numbers for us. Going to screw all that together, fix it to the wall, level it. So let's get stuck in. Okay, so after a bit of jiggery pokery and using levels and make sure everything's square, flat and flush and in a dead straight line, we've got our timber frame in place. So there's our frame. Obviously you've had to join some timbers, so we'll make sure that when we do our leveling that we make sure our joints that I've staggered at each end get nice and leveled. So next job, lift it up to the right height and go from there. All we've done is we've just got little pieces of wood randomly scattered, and then we've packed them out with packers. We've screwed the front ones to the floor, and then we've then screwed the frame to them once they've been packed, and the back one is sitting on feet but screwed to the wall. And we've had to put packers in behind so that the water doesn't get pulled in out of shape. So all we're doing now, we're going to start assembling the flat pack cabinetry, and then we can start getting our first cabinets on the wall. Okay, so all the units are now made, they're in place. We've got quite large fillers all the way around, about 160 mil on average, but not too bad. So all the 3 units are in. All we're going to do now, we've centered them already. So we've centered the middle one and then just put our other 2 in either side. So we've got them clamped. We're just going to put the fixings through, 3 at the front and a couple at the back, to make sure that they all stay nice and tight together. And then we can start scribing in our fillers. But we're getting there, it's coming along nicely. Okay, so far we've screwed our units together, and it's on the instructions, you come 5 holes down for your fixings, 5 holes up for your fixing. There is 6 fittings total, so once the doors are on and we know where everything, all the fixtures and fittings are going, we can put another one in the middle, because these do like to spray apart a little bit, so we will put another one in the middle once we're happy and we're not going to hit a hinge hole or something like that. Okay, so we're about to do the fillers. So what we've done, we've measured the distance from roughly centre of cabinet to wall, 165 mil in this case. We've measured from floor to ceiling, which is 228. We can go a little bit shorter because we can lift it off the floor. We're going to have skirting sail through, so that way then we can then describe it into the ceiling nicely. And we've then also cut 2 rips of 100 mil, which are going to go on the inside of here. Again, from the top of the timber frame to the ceiling, which is 1117 mil or 170 centimetres. So what, 2 meters 28 for our fillers and 1 meter 17 for our returns, our fitting packets. So on this side, we're using the Scribing. So the Scribing has that clamping system. So how you set them up is you use these little yellow spacers, which sets our distance off the cabinet. You then use the screw provided, and you screw it to your cabinet. You then remove your yellow spacers like so. You will then slide your board in that you're going to use for templating. You're going to lift it up to the ceiling, hold it tight to your cabinet, or then going to use the clamp to effectively hold that in place. Like so. You do that top and do it at the bottom as well. Like so. So it's touching our ceiling. This is the advantage with this system, because it's screwed to the cabinet and these are quite tight. they will actually hold material, and it's off the floor. So now we're going to use an offcut of 18mm, and we're going to scribe that, and then we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side, but we're going to use the scribe mate jigs on that side. So again, on this side we've got our scribe mate jigs. Now the only way to get it off the floor and tight to the ceiling is to put your board in, lift it, mark it, and then screw your jig piece on. So that's on there now, but this has a bit more movement. About the same, but these are over wider distances, so now we can scribe them both. But you can see how the principle of both of them of working. Yeah. So with an offcut of board like so, same thickness as your material, which is also the same thickness as your cabinet because they are 18mm. Use the thinnest part, and we're literally going to pencil mark it all the way down your board. Like so. Not too concerned at the bottom there because that's where the skirting will be. Do that on that side. And do the same on this side. Don't push too hard because you will bend the board in and you'll get an uneven mark and you won't get an accurate scribe. And then we got both sides scribed. We can now take off our scribe mate and our scribe jigs. They both have their good points and their bad points. It is a personal preference thing in my opinion. I like using these ones because when you're doing wall fillers and stuff like that on your wall units, because of this clamping system, you don't have to worry about holding it, your piece in place and stuff like that. So these are my preferred clamps, scribe jigs, sorry, but I do use the other ones as well. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take those outside. I'm going to use my long track. I'm going to cut them off to the line, to the widest one, so then I can use my plane just to finesse it to the rest of the lines where it bows in and out, and then they should go straight in. And then I put our returns on, and then that'll be our sides in place, and then we just got to do the same for the top and the bottom. Happy days. See you soon. Okay, so once you've scribed your end, all you're going to do is you're going to cut a 100mm rip that we've already discussed. That's going to sit on the frame and then go to the ceiling. Then what I like to do is cut little square or triangular blocks, and all I do, I pin and screw them together, pin and glue them together, sorry. So that's all glued and it's been pinned as well. Now that should now, if I've done it right, sit on top of that, floor to ceiling. And there we go, just probably sitting on some packers at the minute, but that's in now. All I've got to do now is fix it to the cabinet at our set distance, which is usually about 20-22mm, depending if it's to the doors. We then screw that in place, and then we're going to do exactly the same thing that side and for the top, and basically for the bottom is just going to be straight across the bottom. So to set my square, all I've done is I've hung one of the doors, made sure it's level and in the right place, and all I've done is pushed it down so it's touching the frame. Make sure we get our right distance, and once we're happy we can then use this as a guide for that side, and then it'll be good for the decorators. So stay tuned, we get that last bit on. Happy days. Okay, so we've got all the doors on. Ricky's making a start on the inside. We haven't finished framing yet, but the bottom's now done. So basically all we've done is we just cut that short. We've put spacers or packers between. We've leveled the doors up. All the doors are at their level point. We've put packers between the door and our filler, and we just raised it to the packers. That way then we get plenty of adjustment still in the doors. That's then had some shims put behind it to make sure it's packed out level and square to match the existing. So these are all now nice and flush at that end as well. You'll see what I mean, because the wall kicked out a bit, it kicked the unit out. So you do end up with this gap, but there's not a lot I can do about that. It's too thin to try and scribe something in, but that's how I've done all my other ones. So all I've got left to do is the scribe for the top. And they've got the skirting downstairs, and we might throw a length of skirting across the bottom there just to finish that off. Run a sander over my joints. Okay, so this is another Ikea Pax hack wardrobe, pretty much done. We've got to put handles on, but I haven't discussed positions with the client, and it's actually a building site where we are. So this is just done for today. We've got to pick up some more timber for the base next door, a couple more lengths, and we've got to pick up another couple of sheets of MDF. But yeah, we're looking good, mate, we're looking good. So in that wardrobe, they've just got shelves. In this one, they've got long hanging and short hanging with some small drawers. And then in this one, they've just got double hanging. And that's the finished result. So a little bit of paint, bobs your uncle, fannies your aunt, couple of handles. We threw some skirting that they had downstairs along the bottom, ready for the chippies to do their next bit, so they can crack on with that. But yeah, happy days. Another PAX hack Ikea wardrobe by DC Joinery. Don't forget to come back tomorrow, guys. We're doing exactly the same thing, but tomorrow we are building, maybe not tomorrow, we'll get the cabinets built tomorrow probably, but we're building bespoke drawer units and a bespoke overhead unit for this room. So in this room, there'll be a wardrobe there, and then there'll be a metre or so sized chest of drawers with a bridging unit across the top. But that's what so that bit across the top and the drawer unit we're building bespoke, and I've got push to open runners for that. So that's what we're going to be doing over the next 2 days, tomorrow and Friday, to get that finished. So come back tomorrow and we'll get stuck in again. See you soon, guys. Don't forget, like, share, follow and subscribe to that YouTube channel. It really does help me out, guys. See you soon. Bye bye.